We are going to record the presentation and we will have it available for after. Okay, everyone, I think we're going to go ahead and get started for time's sake. And we will have this available for anyone to watch at a later date. I'm going to, at this time, turn it on over to Mario and Angie. I don't think there's anybody on who is Spanish speaking at this time. But you can ask that now, Mario, just to make double sure.
Buen día. Buenas tardes a todos, padres de familia y a todos sus hijos. Gracias por acompañarnos esta tarde en este taller, en este evento virtual de Achieve LA. Por favor, si necesitan traducción en español, por favor nos pueden escribir en la cajita de chat que miran ahí en Zoom, por favor. O levante la mano ahí, ahí también hay un botón que puede oprimir para que levante su mano, por favor.
If we don't have any Spanish-speaking families this evening, what we will do is still have the student presenters go with the first 2 slides. You all will present the first 10 slides rather, and you can do a little alternating. So Angie, if you would like to start with the Achieve LA partnership.
Yeah, so the Achieve LA was launched in 2018 and is a partnership between Cal State LA and YMCA Metro LA. So their mission statement is to assist our youth to reach their goals toward higher education and career. So Cal State LA is partnering with the YMCA Metro LA from the Crenshaw family, Southeast Rio Vista, Wingard, East LA, and Wingard Wellness and Aquatic Center.
Awesome. Thank you, Angie. So we have here for Cal State LA, we have 2 presenters from our team called Pathway Programs. First, I want to present you all to Dr. Bianca Guzman. She is the director of the Pathway Programs Office here at Cal State Los Angeles. She has some words that she wants to share to you all. So please, Dr. Guzman, take it away.
Oh, good evening. Good evening. I know that this is a Dodger night for LA, so I really appreciate you all coming and putting education at the same time as the Dodger game, maybe. And so I welcome you to learn about Cal State LA, but in general, I welcome you to learn about higher education and how it's possible, doable, and of course, obtainable. And I'm not going to take up too much of your time. We have too many experts who can talk to you much more detailed around what does it take to get on that road to college. And of course, I'd like to introduce Wendy Vaughn, who is our program assistant director. And so I don't know if I'm supposed to give it back to you, Mario. I'm handing it back to Mario.
It's okay, Dr. Guzman. Go Dodgers, by the way. I know they should, I hope they win tonight. Let's present now to Wendy. She's also a big part of our program here at Pathways Program, and she's the assistant director. She has some nice words to share to you all. Wendy.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are very excited about tonight's, I keep wanting to say performance, but we are very excited about tonight's presentation because, as Dr. Guzman said, our office at Cal State LA is all about making sure that students transition into our university with the ease and smoothness and complete peace of mind, as well as fun as they possibly can. And we all know that transitions can be a little bumpy. But tonight, we're going to be talking not just about Cal State LA being your destination, but also all of the different options with community college, as well as other universities and private university options. And of course, how those lead to careers. So we are really excited to have you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Wendy. Now let's switch it over to the YMCA staff. So first off, we have Samoa Jackson, who is speaking for Executive Director Vita Ramsey, so from the Crenshaw Family Branch. So Simone, whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much. So as you can see on the screen, the Crenshaw Family YMCA, our executive director is Vita Ramsey. Unfortunately, she was unable to make it this evening, but I am sending her highs and hellos to all of you. We welcome you through the doors of the Crenshaw branch, and we hope to see you all soon.
Awesome. And now I want to present you all to Mr. Jerry Salcedo. He is also a executive director for the YMCA team. He actually works in the Southeast Rio Vista YMCA district. Jerry, please share some words.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jerry Salcedo. I'm with the Southeast Rio Vista YMCA. I've been with the YMCA for a little bit over 15 years. Super excited for this program, and I am also a big Dodger fan, so go Dodgers, and thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jerry. Okay, now we're going to switch it over to Brenda Hernandez, who is the Executive Director for Wingard YMCA East LA.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Brenda Hernandez here, Executive Director from the Weingarten East Los Angeles YMCA. Excited to be a part of this. Thank you to all the teams that have joined us. And go Dodgers too.
Awesome. Thank you, Brenda. And now we have Mr. Scotty Biggers. He is also the executive director at YMCA at Wingard, to be exact, at their Wellness and Aquatic Center. Scotty. The time is yours.
Good evening, everybody. Go Dodgers. Let me get that out of the way. My name is Scotty Biggers. I'm the executive director of the Wingard YMCA Wellness and Aquatic Center in South LA. I've been a part of this great organization for about going on 26 years now, East Coast and West Coast. So I'm glad to be a part of this, and I can't wait to we get our kids involved. So this is going to be great.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Scotty. So now let's switch it over to our Cal State LA presenters. So today we have Stephen Wilson, who is the EOP Assistant Director, Cal State LA alumni, and provides transfer support for program support. Thank you. Stephen, take it away.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm Stephen Wilson, as has been indicated. I'm one of the assistant directors for EOP. I have a long history here with Cal State LA, background in admissions, background obviously in EOP. I was our founding coordinator for our Guardian Scholars program here. So big ups to all the current and former foster youth that are out there taking care of business and moving forward. I also proudly wear my identity as a transfer student as well, because it provided me the pathway to a 4-year degree and ultimately a master's degree. And I'm currently in a doctoral program moving towards my doctoral dissertation. And so from very humble beginnings, I am so pleased to join you all and look forward to presenting some great information to quote unquote move the needle and continue educating our youth. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. Our next Cal State LA presenter is Abril Drasvina, who is the Charter College of Education Credential Advisor, part-time lecturer, and disability specialist. Abril, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Abril. I've been with Cal State LA for a long time, 15 years or more. I work for the education department. I'm a counselor advisor. Also, I am a part-time professor for the education department. I've also been teaching and counseling at the community college level for about 5 years. I work specifically right now for Mount SAC with students with disabilities. And I've worked for Rio Hondo College also. So I teach both at the university level and at the community college level. I've come from the same kind of beginnings like Stephen and like a lot of us. I grew up in East LA, went to East LA College, transferred also to Cal State LA, got my bachelor's and master's and certificates and everything actually at Cal State LA. So I'm a proud Golden Eagle. And so I'm happy to be here. Nice to meet all of you.
Okay, so I want to confirm that we're not transitioning into breakout rooms, correct?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, excellent. I'll go ahead and get started. And as you indicated, Wendy, we can, just transition back and forth with what we feel comfortable. So there'll be some filling out process. But I would begin by communicating that the things that you will learn from this presentation will include what it takes to get into college, the differences between the community college, the CSU, the UC, and private school systems, and those will be broken down during the presentation, popular majors and how impacted majors can affect your admissions, EOP special admits, and other important college resources. We will discuss how to pay for college, the FAFSA, which is a free application for federal student aid, and the California DREAM Act, the California College Promise, and we will also have a discussion and overview of campus life. Next slide, please. Okay, there are several different paths to success, and we will start with the community college. Okay, the California community colleges offer a variety of degrees and career options. The 2-year Associate of Arts and Sciences degrees are one of the primary functions of the California community colleges. And we also have what's known as the associate degrees for transfer, which allow for a smoother and more streamlined transition to a 4-year university. And so these pathways are structured and they are intended to facilitate much greater student success and make the process easier for students to not just obtain an associate's degree, but to make the transfer process and ultimately graduate with a 4-year bachelor's degree. But additionally, the community colleges will provide students the opportunity to get certificates, such as in the area of veterinary technology, nursing, firefighting, paramedic, and EMT. Some of the community colleges in your area, and these are to name a few, as there are 116 in the state of California, largest two-year public system of higher education in the United States. So just to name a few, Los Angeles City College, also known as LACC, Cerritos College, Los Angeles Trade Technical College, Rio Hondo College, West Los Angeles College, ELAC or East Los Angeles College, Mount SAC or Mount San Antonio College, Los Angeles Southwest College. So as you can see, there's a lot of representation in the LACCD, or the Los Angeles Area Community College District, of which there are 9 campuses, largest system in the state. And so one of the great things is that pretty much anywhere where you go in California, you will have access to a community college that can meet your needs. So that's very important within that structure. Next slide, please. The benefits of being a transfer student. Wow, if you look at the numbers here, around 80,000 community college transfer students seamlessly transition into the University of California and the California State University every year. So lots of opportunity there. And over 62,000 of these transfer students enrolled at California State University campuses in the fall of 2020. Once again, LACCD, the Los Angeles Area Community College District, degrees and certificates awarded. Just to give you an idea of the numbers and the success that many of our students are having. In terms of associate degrees, there are 11,621 awarded. In regards to associate degrees for transfer, 5,468. Certificate programs, 10,553, but they also have non-credit certificates for students that don't necessarily transition to a 4-year community college, and that number 3,476. And in some instances, community colleges are now allowed to provide bachelor's degrees, of which there were 42 awarded for LACCD in the 2019-2020 academic school year. Next slide, please. Minimum admission requirements to study at a community college. And these are gonna be being 18 years of age, having a high school diploma or a GED or the equivalent, a minimum 2.0 GPA and over for certain programs, especially those where bachelor's degrees may be awarded at select community colleges. But what you can also do is pick a community college in your community, or again, anywhere in California. You apply at home.cccapply.org, and you must also submit your high school or GED transcripts to the selected community college. One of the things that you would also want to do is pick a major so that it's transferable to the desired 4-year university. And that, again, goes along with the associate's degrees for transfer, and so that they can better support that process. Next slide, please. April, did you want to jump in?
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
thank you.
Thank you. So like Stephen was introducing the community colleges, there's different paths to success. This is the second kind of group that we'll introduce, which is the 4-year universities, and the 3 different types of 4-year universities. If we can go to the next slide. One slide back. Okay. So the first group of colleges that we'll introduce is the CSU, or the California State University. So in California, there's 23 different campuses. They're all either called CSU, like CSU LA, Cal State LA, where we're from, or Cal State Dominguez Hills, Cal State Long Beach, Cal Poly Pomona. So there's 23 in the whole state of California. They're known as kind of the state colleges. That's a good way to think about them. The requirements are different than community college, essentially. The CSU does require students to apply either right out of high school or as transfer students and be admitted. So as opposed to the community colleges where pretty much anyone that's a high school completer can apply and attend, the CSU does require that you go through the Cal State apply system and actually get admitted, and different campuses have different requirements. Different majors have different requirements. But some of the basic requirements to be admitted is, again, being a high school graduate if you're coming from a high school, or a transfer student if you're coming from a community college. If you are coming from a high school, there are certain requirements that you have to meet, that students have to meet from high school. They're called the A through G, and they're very specific college-bound classes. If you are coming from a community college, it's somewhat similar. You have to complete the CSU requirements at the community college, very similar. There's GPA is a little bit higher. It's anywhere between, for California residents, anywhere between 2.0 and 2.59 to get admitted. Certain majors have higher GPAs than that though, so it's important to keep that in mind. If students are coming from high school, there's advanced placement that can also, those are college level classes at the high school, that exams that you can take that'll give you college credit. There's the ACT and the SAT exams. They're not required for now, but they are usual requirements exams to get into all four-year colleges. The higher scores, the more opportunities you have of admission at different campuses. Those are kind of some of the basic requirements. Again, it's different from high school than it is transferring from community college. Community college, again, has those A through G requirements, but in a different way. You're taking your first 2 years at a community college and then transferring over to the CSU or to a four-year college. So next slide. So we put this together just to show a little bit of a profile of public university. We chose Cal State LA because that's where we're from. Just to give you an idea of what, a little bit of admission facts and a little bit of tuition facts. So admission facts for 2020, the acceptance rate for Cal State LA is 44%, 44.4%, meaning that out of every 100 students, about 44 get admitted. So that's a good number. We're a good campus in terms of admission for students that are eligible. The average GPA of admission of students admitted is 3.18. So that's why I was saying in the last slide that minimum is about a 2.5, but the higher your GPA is, the higher chance you get of being admitted. So the average GPA of students coming in 2020 was 3.18. And here are some of the fees broken down for commuter students, meaning they don't live on campus, students who live on campus, and then students who live off campus, but like in an apartment or something around the area. And so tuition, we're looking at about close to $7,000 per year. Books and supplies, room and board, miscellaneous, and transportation. So we're looking at a good total of anywhere between $18,000 to about $29,000 for the year, depending on where a student lives. That's kind of a good kind of snapshot of what the admission looks like and the admission requirements, and also what it's going to, money-wise, what it's going to take to attend Cal State LA. Next slide. The next group of schools that I want to introduce is the UC. So it's the University of California. Most popular, probably UCLA. Of course, there's UC Riverside, UC Irvine, UC San Bernardino, Santa Barbara, I'm sorry, not San Bernardino, UC Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz. There's all kinds in the state also. The UCs are typically a little bit harder to get in, depending on the campus and depending on the major for sure. To get in than a CSU. So the requirements for admission are a little bit higher usually. You are required to be a high school graduate if you're coming from high school. There's also an application that you have to fill out just like Cal State's. If you're coming from high school, again, you have to fulfill those A through G requirements, which if your students don't know what they are, your kids don't know what they are, it's good to meet with the college counselors to make sure on campus to make sure that they're getting those A through G classes done. The GPA requirement is a little bit higher, again, 3.0 or higher, so it's a little bit higher than the requirement for CSU. AP exams, those advanced placement, college level, are very helpful when you're applying for admission. And then again, the ACT and SAT exams, when they are required, are helpful for admission. The higher score you get, the more chance you get to be admitted to different campuses. Next slide. And here's and the third type of university that we do want to profile is a private university. So we went from CSU, State University, to UC, University of California, and then there's private universities. So private universities, we decided to profile USC because that's probably the most popular in our area. We all know USC, right by Exposition Park, by Exposition Park. So this is a kind of a snapshot of USC. So in comparison to Cal State LA, the freshman admission facts for 2020, the acceptance rate is 13%. So in comparison to Cal State LA, which is 44%, you could see how much more difficult it is to get into a private school like USC. The average GPA is 3.7. So that's close to an A average for students. So it is a difficult admission process to USC for sure. And also it's a much more expensive process. As you can see, the cost of attendance for 2021 for on-campus and off-campus, you're looking at anywhere between 72,000 to 81,000. So that's considerably more than the 18,000 to 29,000 that Cal State LA was. Just the tuition alone, you're looking at 60,000 per year. So it's harder to get in for sure. And it's a lot more expensive while you're there for sure. So all those things we need to keep in mind. So we wanted to also kind of show or focus popular majors. These are the popular majors at Cal State LA, but honestly, these majors are popular pretty much at every campus. Certain campuses specialize in certain things, like for example, Cal Poly in Pomona is a very technical campus. So engineering, computers is very popular there. Cal State LA has a lot of popular majors, and they're on the left. Probably the most popular, maybe the most popular, business administration, computer science, journalism, kinesiology, which is exercise science, or PE. We know it as PE also. So all of these majors on the left are pretty popular at Cal State LA. And on the right, we kind of we wanted to show what an annual salary for a student or a person who earns a bachelor's degree in that major. Now, these figures are approximate. They may not be exactly what it is in California. They may be in other states. It's just an approximate number. Of course, some people in, for example, business can start off earning 40,000, but can go up way higher than even 67,000. It depends on what industry you are. If you work for the private sector, if you work for the public sector, there's a lot of factors in income. But these are just kind of a snapshot of the ranges of salary that you can expect with a bachelor's degree in this area. So for example, urban learning, that's an education degree, or for if you want to be a teacher, for example. Teachers in LA start off somewhere around 43,000, depending on your education, can go up to 70, but can even go up higher than that, depending if you speak Spanish, if you're bilingual, if you have different certifications on your credentials and more graduate units. There's a lot to consider. So these are just approximate numbers, but this is kind of an idea of what salaries look like for the popular majors at Cal State LA. Next slide. And it's important to note that we want to also show that a major, like any major can result in multiple employment opportunities. So sometimes when we think of things like criminal justice, we think, okay, well, what am I going to do with that? Maybe I'll be a police officer. Yeah, you can be a police officer. You could also work in the jail system. You could also work for the juvenile system. You can work for the state, county. There's a lot of different options that in every major result in multiple employment opportunities. So it's always good to keep that in mind. So our example is someone who earns a child development degree. Sometimes people think, well, what are you going to do with a child development degree other than be a teacher, for example? Definitely you're able to be a teacher, but you can also work in social work as an early interventionist with children. You can work in a childcare. You can own your own childcare center. You could be a youth counselor. There's a bunch of different position or options with this type of degree, just like all the other degrees. And here's some of the salaries for some of the popular careers with a degree for a student with a degree in child development. And some of the figures, like in social work, you could start making an annual salary starting around $63,000. Professor with a master's degree may earn $65,000 and even way higher than that. So these are some of the different preschool teachers can start earning at $37,000 or even higher than that. Again, those are approximate numbers. But this gives you an idea that all majors don't just lead necessarily to one area. They could lead to different areas, to different options in employment for sure. And in this slide, we really wanted to show in general, what a degree can mean for you. Like I was saying in the last slide, it can definitely mean multiple opportunities of jobs, but most importantly, the higher level of degree you earn, the lower level your unemployment rate could be. So what that means, for example, students that have less than a high school diploma, on average, are at an unemployment rate about 11%, as opposed to, let's say you have a bachelor's degree, your unemployment rate drops to 5%, so that's less than half. And if you have even go higher than that to a professional degree, a doctorate degree, your unemployment rate drops to 2.5%, so like 5 times less. You have a chance of being unemployed. So it really makes a big difference in terms of how employable you are earning a degree in multiple areas, of course. This shows you that the less education you have, the more difficulty it'll be to maintain a job. So that's really important. Next slide. And it's important to note also, like I was mentioning about criminal justice and urban learning, it's important to note that every college has impacted versus non-impacted majors. So when we talk about admission, it's important to note that admission is different depending on the major you're interested in. And what I mean by that is the majors that are very popular at every campus can be impacted, which means that there's too many students applying for that major and not enough spots for admission. And so when that happens, the college will raise the admission requirements because they just have too many people applying and they can't take everyone. So instead of a GPA of being 2.0 or 2.5, as it is in criminal justice, for example, they raise it to 2.65. So they won't take anyone that has less than 2.65 GPA or even consider that. They require different major preparation courses. So on top of the general classes you have to do to get into criminal justice at Cal State LA, they also want you to have some criminal justice classes already completed before you apply. So it's just a more difficult process because the major is so popular. As opposed to urban learning, which is not an impacted major. It is still a great major. It's still a popular major, just not as popular as criminal justice or business, for example. So the requirements are a little bit less. So you could have a 2.0 GPA. Some of the classes that are required to get in are just basic classes you would do as a for any major. There's not really any above and beyond requirements to get into urban learning, but definitely the impacted majors like criminal justice, business, psychology is always impacted. At Cal State LA, TV and media, those kind of majors sometimes are impacted. It depends on the campus. I mentioned Cal Poly earlier. Cal Poly always impacted with computers, always impacted with engineering, always impacted with math. So depending on the campus, we'll have different impacted majors. But it's important to keep that in mind, depending on what your kids, students, what they're interested in, because if they want one of these more popular majors, they're going to have a little bit higher grades and a little bit extra requirements to complete in order to gain admission into that major. Next slide. And then I'll turn it over to Stevens, and this is his specialty.
Okay, thank you so much, April, for that wonderful information. The Educational Opportunity Program, and I would like to put this under the umbrella of all equity programs at these particular institutions. The Educational Opportunity Program was established in 1969 through legislation, and it's for the California State University, or CSU system. It's committed to increasing the access to higher education for first-generation low-income students who are state residents in California. EOP students are students who demonstrate the capacity to be successful, but may lack the educational and economic resources to attend a university. So we definitely support that process. At the California Community College level, they have what's called the EOP&S program. Similar acronym, slightly different in terms of the title. EOP&S stands for Extended Opportunity Programs and Services. You will look and see that there are benefits that are included in most equity programs that, you know, just looking at it may be 80% similar. But you will also notice that there can be slight differences, and some of these may be attributed to budget allocations and things of that nature, but also location, mission of the particular institution, but also just the goals that are expressed by the leadership and the administration of those particular academic institutions. But EOP in general will provide some of the following benefits. There will be admissions considerations, and that means that we can provide support to students who may not necessarily qualify through regular admissions in some instances, right? We have a process called special admissions, where a limited number of students who, again, demonstrate the potential to be successful, but could benefit from guidance and additional support and resources. This provides an avenue for such students to transition successfully and directly out of high school into a four-year institution, but we also will take transfer students as well. Again, in addition to admissions considerations, we provide academic guidance, counseling support. For the first year, we provide our students priority registration so that you will have first crack at selected classes. These are indirect ways that we support graduation from students from historically underserved backgrounds, right? Learning communities, supplemental instruction. These are courses, we will call them in-class tutorial courses that support, in general, math, English, other important general education type classes that are deemed vital and very important for success. In some instances, you'll see that we'll put our allocation towards grants. Oftentimes, this is very limited funding because they come out of, at least for the California State University, out of the overall EOP budget allocation. And we also have laptop loan programs at our particular institution where, especially pre-pandemic, I would say, we were trying to provide students who may have not necessarily had access to technology, the type of support that they need to stay competitive in terms of getting their work done, their homework done in a timely manner, and just being able to develop skills that will enhance their chances for success, especially in an area where we have graduation initiatives that are really technology based. For those of you that may be unaware, by 2025, the goal is to add 1 million new workers who are well-versed in technology to the California economy. And so all of our public and even our private school systems are partaking in an effort to make sure that our students are well educated so that they can have a successful transition and a better tomorrow. We also support professional development workshops, and these are through mentoring and guidance and putting on programs that really show our students what the workforce looks like and will look like. And so we sometimes support through actually putting on these workshops ourselves, but we also support our students getting this training financially in case there's a cost associated with attending such workshops. Also, we support programs through cultural enrichment, just making sure that our students are aware of who they are. So many of our students come from first generation backgrounds and don't necessarily know or understand what the process looks like. And so we definitely want to make sure that our students don't just have a successful experience academically, but feel welcomed socially and can develop the skills that are necessary for future success. And again, resources may vary by institution, so you would definitely want to check out the various campuses to see what allocations they may have that you can benefit from. Next slide, please. Okay, that all important question. How do I pay for college? And I want to preface this by saying that a researcher, Vincent Tinto, has a very important saying. It says that it basically, it does no good to provide students access to college if you don't provide them the support to become successful. And so the term goes, access without support is not real opportunity, right? And so that's from a noted researcher, Mr. Vincent Tinto. Okay. So one of the things we want you to know is that there are financial opportunities available for students. And the primary one is going to come through what we call the FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. The application deadline is, for example, this year, if you're applying to school for fall 2022, then the application period is going to run from October 1st, 2021 through March 2nd, 2022. So while they leave you about 5 to 6 months to apply, you always want to apply early because sometimes information needs to be updated or needs to be corrected. But also one of the things about applying early is no matter how many times you may make corrections to your application, as long as it's postmarked, time-stamped that first time, then you will be considered to have met the deadline. But also you want to maximize your opportunity for a maximum amount of funds as well, right? And there are also benefits in areas such as federal work study, where students who apply early may get greater consideration. So those are some things to think about. We also have the California Dream Act for students who may be have AB 540 status. And so when we say AB 540, some students can be undocumented and still apply for in-state financial aid. And so that's the important thing to differentiate there, is that FAFSA is a federal form where some AB 540 students may not be allowed to apply, but California, in its infinite wisdom and being very unique in terms of how it serves its constituency, has opportunities with in-state aid for students. So there's the California Dream Act. And again, AB 540, there's going to be some criteria that we're going to mention in another slide. Provides the opportunity for students to, all of students in California pretty much, to have the opportunity to go to school. And the application for the DREAM Act is March 2nd as well. And so you definitely want to be on the lookout there. We have campus work study programs. We provide scholarships, but also student loans constitute financial aid as well. And a lot of times that is often not noticed by students or their families, primarily because, well, if I have to pay it back, then how is it helping me? A lot of these loans have very low interest rates. They are serviced by programs that really support you. If you want to go back to school later on, then they will provide you deferments and additional consideration. If you lose your job, we have what's called a forbearance, but also, again, very generous loans rates. Generally, they're going to be topped out at maybe 6.8 to 7% on the high end, whereas other students might fall into the credit card game, right? And end up paying interest rates as high as 20, 25% with much less consideration, I would say, in regards to the terms of the agreement. So that's definitely something to consider if you potentially have a slightly higher income and don't necessarily qualify for free monies in regards to grants and scholarships. Next slide, please.
Hi, Stephen, this is Wendy. So I'm going to go to the next slide, but we just realized our timekeeper, it's 6:49. So we're going to go a little bit faster and allow our students to also share their feedback on those resources toward the end. So.
Oh, absolutely.
So this one, I think we sufficed with the last two. So we can talk about California College Promise. Take it from here.
Yeah, I could talk about that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
So the California College Promise Grant, it means different things at different levels. So like it's very popular at a community college right now. And what that is, it's money that's set aside for students who commit to they make certain commitments. So for example, if your student can commit to going to school full-time for 2 years and obviously doing well, the California College Promise Grant at the community college level will pay for all of their tuition, give them certain benefits like a free laptop, free books, even sometimes bus passes, things like that, in order to cover them for the first 2 years of college. So they don't have to pay anything out of pocket as long as they make the commitment of being full-time students and doing well. So that's a really popular program right now. Next slide. So here are some of the requirements for the California College Promise Grant. I'm not going to go through all of them, but essentially, just like I said, it's free. The biggest thing about it is that it pays for tuition for the first 2 years of college. There's all kinds of additional financial resources, a free laptop, and also the specialized counseling that you get. You get a lot more one-on-one counseling your first 2 years. So it's a very good program. Next slide. And so I think our students are actually going to talk about the resources available at Cal State LA.
Okay, thank you so much, Abril. My name is Ariana Gonzalez, and I'm the communication specialist working with the Pathway programs. And I have the honor and privilege to be speaking with Alexis Obina, who is a graduated Cal State LA student. And as you know, there are a variety of resources on the campus of Cal State LA, and they're all there to support the students with any needs that they might need in order to succeed. Some of them are listed here on the slide and can be further discussed by Alexis. Okay, it looks like there's some technical difficulties, so I will have to explain them a little bit myself. So the Guardian Scholars are there to help support for current or former foster youth by providing different resources for them to reach out to, as well as the Glazer Dreamer Dreams resource. It is there as a part of the California Dream Act application to just give overall assistance, possible legal services for dreamers, which means any immigrant students. And there's also there for different office students with disabilities, the Career Center. And unfortunately, I did not have the privilege to attend Cal State LA. I did attend Cal State Long Beach. And while there's a lot of similarities, there's also differences within the organization. Some of the similar resources that I had were the financial aid office meetings, but they were mandatory for the first 2 years of my college. So I was never behind on my FAFSA. I always knew of different scholarship opportunities. And another resource that I continuously went to was the ASI. ASI is typically like student government, and they're continuously holding events for networking, which helped me because I was very much a student that liked to jump around. I'd like to say I had a lot of different lives. I went into college originally studying for pre-psychology, and then I shifted communication studies because I thought I could be a reporter. And then I shifted again thinking about radio hosts, and I shifted again to graduate thinking I'm going to be a mediator, only to then to go to law school, and now I'm here. A lot of different lives, and every single time Cal State Long Beach was there with the resources for networking for different ASI events, and I could not have been more grateful because every single time I knew that the CSU system had my back with at least providing me any type of resource that I needed to make the shift to become the person I am today. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so campus life. And is Alexis, are you able to join us now?
Yeah, hey. Hey everyone,
Hey
give me
there.
1 second. So yeah, definitely utilize sorry, I'm gonna come on camera in a second. Definitely utilize the services when it comes to Cal State LA specifically, because there's a lot of really good services. And then also there's a lot of really good and like rich and diverse campus life. And so there's the Hermanos Unidos, there's the Black Student Union, there's the Associated Student Incorporated, which is like the political social life at Cal State LA. So definitely getting involved in these, like you meet amazing people and you form these long lasting connections that are really, really meaningful. And I've gotten a lot of different opportunities just from networking with different people. So definitely check out the clubs and the campus lives, and also just don't be afraid to like ask for help, because you just never know who knows who, and it's really important to have strong supportive systems. So I'm going to pass it back to you to talk about your experience.
Thank you. Again, I went to Cal State Long Beach, so campus life was a little bit different, but we did have a numerous amount of different clubs. And I've noticed 3 things about the clubs that they provided. They were either there for a student's personal interests, their culture, or the pursuit of academic achievements. So for personal interest, there was a surfing club or different sporting clubs or dance clubs, drawing, films, and anything there that could just further intrigue any student's possible wants to get into that they're interested in. So it's not completely academic. For cultural interests, there was also the Latino Club, multiple religious clubs that were on campus, and they actually did have prayer rooms and services for people that did need to attend different religious events during the holidays. Like, for example, there was Lent, or the ashes for anyone that was Catholic. I'm sure you already know about the little ashes cross on your forehead. There's a folklorico club, an African-American club, Polynesian club, and for academic achievements, my favorite club that I was a part of was the Forensic Speech and Debate Club. They also had the Dean's List Club and ASI Club. But for my experience for Forensic Speech and Debate, it was fantastic because I already had so many interests and I already had so many opinions as a very young woman. And that gave me the opportunity to write about any opinions as long as I had any speeches, any research to back it up, and create a speech. And from there, I would be able to complete nationally. So I got to travel for free, writing about anything that fascinated me, as long as there was research to back it up to make it seem as though I was a scholar. And then from there, I was able to gain scholarships as well as free travel. So I loved that very much. In my personal life, I also joined the dance club because I was not able to drink alcohol. I do have some health issues. So for college, if I wanted to socialize, I would just go dancing. And I had the time of my life. And I'm so grateful for my college because it really did shape who I am today by giving me so many opportunities to express myself, giving me the resources to reach out for anything I needed to do, and just continuously giving me the support to get me to be the person I knew I wanted to be. And can we go to the next slide? All righty. Do we have any questions?
I just also wanted to add, that there's a resource guide with a lot of different, like it's the campus life in alphabetical order. And then also like different clubs and like different sports on campus. So check that out if you're interested in that.
Absolutely. I think that I'm just going to share our contact page for the sake of this, since it's being recorded. That QR code will take all of the watchers to one of our surveys. And that's just for parents who watch now or after, or students. If you have any particular questions, you can, that will lead to the pathway programs at Cal State LA, and we'll be able to reach you directly to answer any of your questions. We also wanted to share the contact information for our amazing YMCA partners. If you guys want to take pictures of these so that you can email them with any of your questions about Achieve LA, you can do that as well. And thank you for joining us, everyone. We appreciate your time. And this really does conclude our presentation right on time. We do have a resource guide, which we will make sure to give that link to all of the YMCA EDs, and make sure that any of our parents who are interested in or families, if we have any families or parents, or even any of our Y partners who have any questions about that at this time, I want to make sure everybody can say their last few parting words before we adjourn this meeting. Questions, comments, feedback? All right.
Great information. We're looking forward to more. So just thank everyone for being here. I'm excited about getting more parents on the next time, and students, and learning more and more about this education is important. So thank you all.
Yes, I agree. Thank you for this presentation. You guys are great, Wendy and the whole crew at Cal State LA. I think I have a youth on, Makai. Makai, are you still there? I gotta call him out.
I didn't see his name. Was he also a part of
here?
You still here, Makai? Here's Makai. There's Makai. Makai, do you have any questions at all, sir? You like to ask these folks?
I was wondering about the program you mentioned earlier. It was it went from October 1st to March 2022.
Hmm.
I was wondering, is there maybe like a link that I can get to find out about that, or do I just Google it?
We actually, we do have a link that maybe we can put. That's the FAFSA that you were speaking about, Stephen. We can find that really quickly, I think, and put that in the chat. Also, I was sharing the whole time, so I wasn't able to share our resource links, but I'm going to put that really quickly. Just give me 2 seconds. I also see Malia on. Is she also one of our participants?
Yes,
she is.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Malia, did you have any questions while we're pulling up these links for you all to put in the chat?
Hi, everybody. No, I didn't have any questions. Thank you, though.
Okay.
Yeah, for the FAFSA, it's just fafsa.gov. And got to be careful making sure that it says gov instead of edu or .com, because they have other private organizations that could try to pull you in. And remember the key word in FAFSA, the first word, free application for federal student aid. So if they charge you any money, I would say, check your resources, college counselor at your high school, or any of us, and we'll support you with the correct information.
Micah and Malia, what grades are you both in? Micah and Malia, what grades are you both in?
I'm in 12th grade.
Okay. Are you thinking of going to college once you graduate?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have an idea of if it will be community college or university?
I'm applying to West Point, but I'm also going to apply to other four-year universities.
Awesome. Very cool. I just put this is our resource folder here, and then I'm going to put my actual personal email in here for the both of you two students, simply because we do we have an office hour that we do every week. It's on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 3. If you're in school at that time, just email me and we can set something up after. But I definitely want to hear more. If you have any questions at all, if that website is confusing, we actually have a financial aid workshop that's going on next Tuesday from 4 to 5. And we invite you all to come to that as well. And you can find that information in that in the resource guide that's in that folder, in that Google Docs folder that I just shared the link to. So you can either email me or access that information there.
Wendy, is that, you said that's through Zoom, right? That's going to be for a Zoom call?
It is, yes, it is.
Okay.
A virtual. Here, I can actually even put the JPEG. I sent it to all of us, but please.
Wendy, I already sent the flyer. As soon as you were talking about financial aid, I copied and just sent over the flyer document just in case.
Oh, thank you so much, Adi. Yes, so that's going to be a really good, Micah, for your question. All of those questions will be answered at that workshop if you're able to attend next Tuesday. And it is a Zoom.
Okay.
Bianca, and thank you all, the presenters. We're looking forward to future.
Absolutely.
Amos.
Thank you so
Great job.
much, everyone.
Yes, everyone did a great job. All right, well, all right, team. We'll adjourn at this point. Have a great rest of your Thursday evening.
Thanks, Wendy. Thanks, gang.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.